All right, let's talk about what makes a superpower, well, a superpower. Today, we're diving deep inside the United States military. We're going to go way beyond the headlines to break down the people, the places, the budget, and the incredible technology that projects its power across the entire globe, all based on the very latest data.
But what really defines a military superpower? Is it just about having a ton of soldiers, or the biggest budget? Or is it all about having the most advanced, high-tech weapons? Well, as we're about to see, it's actually a fascinating, complex mix of all those things, and maybe a few others you haven't thought about.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at strength in numbers, the human element. Then we'll map out its incredible global footprint. After that, we are going to follow the money, and I mean a lot of money, into its trillion-dollar budget. Then we'll check out its unmatched arsenal, and finally, we'll look at the massive business of defense that keeps the whole machine running. Okay, first up, strength in numbers. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the fancy tech in the world, but any military is built on its people. And when you look at the U.S. Armed Forces, the sheer scale is just staggering.
Get ready for this number. 1.3 million. That's how many active duty personnel are serving right now. I mean, to put that in perspective, that single military force is bigger than the entire population of countries like Estonia or Mauritius. But the question is, where do all those people serve?
So here's how it all breaks down. The Army is the biggest single branch for sure, but what's really amazing is the combined strength. You've got hundreds of thousands in the Navy and the Air Force, the elite Marine Corps, and the brand new Space Force. And this is so important, you have a reserve force of almost 800,000 people ready to be called up whenever they're needed. So, you've got this massive force of people. The next logical question is, where are they? You see, a military's real power isn't just its size, it's its reach. And that brings us to its truly global footprint. This image here really captures that idea of global reach perfectly. The whole point is that the US has this unparalleled network of bases all over the world. It gives it a strategic presence that lets it project power almost anywhere on Earth, anytime. So what are we talking about in terms of numbers? More than 200. That's the estimate for the number of major foreign bases the U.S. operates. These are big, significant military installations. But as incredible as that number is, it's really just the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, just look at the sheer breadth of this network. We're talking about a military presence in about 80 different countries. And when you start to add in the smaller sites, the listening posts, the logistical hubs, the total number gets closer to 600. It creates this strategic web across the planet, with major hubs in places like Japan, Germany, and South Korea.
Okay, so how do you pay for all of this? How do you maintain a force this large and a footprint this wide? Well, it takes an absolutely mind-boggling amount of money. So for our third section, let's follow the money and look at the financial engine powering this entire enterprise. $1.01 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. That's the proposed U.S. defense budget for 2026. It's a number so big it's almost hard to comprehend, and it's the first time the budget has ever officially crossed that trillion-dollar line.
And to really wrap your head around that, listen to this. That single budget is bigger than the combined military spending of Russia, China, and India. All three of them, combined. It's that level of funding that makes everything else we've talked about, the people, the bases, the global operations, even possible.
So what exactly does a trillion-dollar budget buy you? Well, it buys you an arsenal of technology and hardware that is frankly unmatched anywhere else in the world. It buys you dominance, on land, in the air, and at sea. And at the very top of that pyramid is the nuclear triad. This is the ultimate insurance policy. It's the ability to launch a nuclear strike from 3 different platforms, from hardened silos in the ground, from stealthy submarines hidden in the ocean, and from long-range bombers in the sky. It's a capability very few nations have, and it's the ultimate deterrent. And speaking of that deterrent, according to a 2025 report, the U.S. has an estimated stockpile of 5,177 nuclear warheads. It is just a sobering figure that really underscores the incredible destructive power we're talking about. But of course, it's not all about nukes. The conventional forces are just as dominant. Just look at this. In the air, a fleet of over 13,000 aircraft. At sea, the U.S. Navy operates 11 aircraft carriers. That is more than every other country in the world combined. And on the ground, you have more than 1,500 advanced M1A2 Abrams tanks leading the charge. And this power isn't just about offense. The U.S. has also poured billions into creating a super sophisticated, multi-layered missile defense shield. You've got systems like the Patriot, which handles low and medium-range threats, kind of like a close-in bodyguard.
And then you have THAAD, which is designed to go way, way up into the atmosphere to intercept long-range strategic missiles. Together, they create this incredible defensive wedge.
All right, for our final piece of the puzzle, we're going to look at something that happens off the battlefield but is absolutely crucial to American power. We're talking about the massive global business of defense.
The scale of this industry is just wow. You see, it's not just that the U.S. government is the world's biggest buyer of military tech, its companies are also the world's biggest sellers. Our 2025 SIPRI report found that an incredible 4 out of the top 5 arms-producing companies on the entire planet are American.
And you probably know the names. These are the titans of the industry: Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics. These are the corporations that actually design and build all the advanced tech we've been talking about, from stealth fighters to missile defense systems to nuclear submarines. And the economic power they wield is immense. Just look at this number. Those 4 companies alone account for over $180 billion in weapon sales every year. This creates this powerful feedback loop between national defense, the American economy, and global foreign policy.
Which leads us to this final and really crucial question. We've seen the people, the global footprint, the trillion-dollar budget, and the unmatched arsenal. But when all of that military might is also tied up with a massive global business, how does that fusion of power and profit end up shaping international security for all of us? It's definitely something to think about.